When I was a child, I had a reoccurring dream where small alien heads would float into my room, bobbing around my bed. Looking back, it makes sense. I watched a lot of sci-fi and the X-Files. And then there were my parents. Their faith told them that God had created more life than was just on Earth. But they almost take it as, like, matter of fact, like, yeah, of course there's aliens out there. So what else was I supposed to believe? Fast forward to today, and I still can't put it down. I'm obsessed with this idea that the world is far bigger and stranger than we could ever imagine. I've dabbled in making films about strange and mysterious things before, but UFO films always seemed like a bridge too far. I just couldn't take them seriously. But I kept coming back to that conversation I had with my parents, how confident they'd been. So even though I lacked that kind of faith, or maybe because of it, I decided to risk ridicule and make a UFO film. But to take it seriously, I needed a serious subject. That's what drew me to Len.
Now, I didn't take any of it seriously until maybe 13 years old.
He was speaking at an event for experiencers.
I didn't know, but I was struck by the UFO bug at that point.
His story started out like mine, but in the 1960s.
There was a magazine called Reader's Digest. Reading these witnesses, it seemed that they were telling the truth. It was the first time I really thought, is there life elsewhere in the universe? And it made complete sense to me that there would be. There's so much space.
One thing I discovered while talking to Len and others like him was that stories of close encounters rarely fit the mold of what I expected.
I mean, it's just, once you see something, it's a transformational, transcendental kind of experience. This was in the summer of 1967. My dad was in the living room on a chair. I put an old World War II sleeping bag over my shoulder, and he said,
"Where are you going?"
And I said, "I'm going up to Tim's to look for flying saucers."
Len and some friends had heard about some strange lights in the sky outside their town. They camped out one night and waited.
And about 2 a.m., it came bursting like through a different dimension, a very large orange sphere with flames coming off the front of it and the side of it, with a little white star orb following in its trail. Its very being, its very fact that it's there, was screaming, "We're from somewhere else. This is not a normal Earth experience."
More than 30 residents from nearby towns and villages reported sightings that night.
Several workers taking a break at a factory saw a basketball coach. He saw New York State troopers saw it.
Like I said, I consume a lot of UFO content. So when I encounter stories like this, I inevitably think of the work of Jacques Vallée.
What we know today about the UFO phenomenon is considerably more than we knew 20 years ago or 10 years ago.
And he's one of the few scientists who believes there's much more we can learn from these sightings, other than just stories of strange lights in the sky.
And we have to understand it at three different levels. And the first level is the physical level.
That thing came right as close as can be over our head.
Almost all described it like Len did.
Seeing the little white orb following in the trail. The articles appeared, and they quickly faded away. I don't think I told very many people that it might have been somehow personal. It was like a beacon in the night. It was like a torch, if you will. This feeling came over me, this thought. They were giving me a hello. That's exactly how it felt. You've supported us. Keep the faith.
When is a UFO story no longer just a UFO story?
I have no idea what I saw, but it scared me to death. It was bigger than my house. It was just an enormous glowing object.
Not everyone reports a craft, but luminous lights and orbs that appear and disappear.
It was doing figures of 8, it was doing loops. All the while it was changing color.
Sometimes there are strange creatures.
He was about 7 feet tall, a silver-suited man. He was there for about 2 hours.
People encountered psychic phenomena.
I got seemingly a telepathic message while I was meditating. That voice switched over to Latin.
Dreams and visions would follow.
Oftentimes they would say, "We are you and you are us."
There were even cases of people being healed from physical ailments. A lot of experiencers even interpreted their encounter as religiously significant.
Whether they are a cop driving on a lonely road, or a PhD, or a bank president, whether they are religious or not religious, their view of themselves, their view of the world around them, their view of the universe has been shattered.
You see a UFO, and that is consciousness expanding. It's like a psychedelic flying in the sky.
The second level is what happens to witnesses, what would happen to you and me if we were close to that source of energy, the physiological and the psychological correlations of a close encounter.
Len's sighting awakened him to a life filled with deep meaning, and what he describes were a series of mind-boggling experiences spanning several decades. Visions, physical sensations, premonitions, even a potential poltergeist that started with his first UFO sighting.
It's not a belief. These things happen to me. It would be a lot easier for me if I saw a UFO and the next thing was another UFO and it was all UFO. It doesn't fit one particular mold.
I mean, it's a little bit too much for me. Yeah, seeing a light or a craft is one thing, but once you involve any sort of spirituality, consciousness, dreams, I don't know. People run away, even just thinking about it.
It's too much for me back in 67.
The same night Len saw his UFO, 10 miles away, there was a report of another sighting.
There was a watchman at a nearby town of Churchville, New York, named Sidney Zipkin, who claimed that he pulled into the park with his headlights on, and he saw a landed craft and two, as he called it, midgets in shiny black uniforms. And when they saw him, they got into their craft and they took off.
And how close was this to your...
4 hours earlier. Even I didn't believe him. I thought this guy was whacked. But as you move through the years, maybe he was telling the truth. I don't know.
There is a third level, which is a social level. The impact on our belief system. At that level, it really doesn't matter whether UFOs are real or not. If enough people believe that something is real, then it is real in its effect.
Instead of delivering messages about faraway worlds, could UFOs have more to tell us about ourselves?
Could the UFO phenomenon be manipulating us? Could it be a teaching system of some sort? Maybe there is a collective unconscious. It's a challenge to our concept of a series of images of technology. We are projecting the visions we need to survive, our folklore.
Just as my parents' acceptance of ET life was grounded in their religious beliefs, I realized that my own fascination might be rooted in a similar impulse. some deep need for wonder or awe in a world increasingly stripped of it.
I was an adamant atheist, but these experiences over the years were like something knocking at my door. And I finally opened the door a little bit.
What did that transformation look like?
Have you seen anything?
I haven't. No, I would love to, but I haven't.
Well, you still may.